Hopefully you can hear me. So I'm live here at Fuel Fest, New Jersey Motorsports Park. I wanted to put something together for work commutes because my work commute is a little far. Although there's not a lot of traffic, I still deal with a far commute. I wanted to put this together because I figured out a couple of things that kind of worked in line with saving gas. I can't necessarily say a whole lot for the heavy traffic commutes. I just wanted to list real quick here a couple of the mods that I did because I feel that it's important that it's not stock and I can go to the track, flash it, and then also be able to drive home and get a good miles per gallon on the way home. So that's really the purpose for creating this video. Here we are, we have the Ktuner open. And so the first thing on the list I wanted to discuss was the transmission settings. When you have improved shifting number 2, when you go to downshifts for you, it will downshift a lot faster and it will downshift to a much higher RPM. So when it downshifts on factory, it downshifts to a lower RPM as you improve as you go to first shifting level. It goes to a slightly higher RPM when it downshifts. And same thing, improved shifting level 2, it goes a little bit higher in the RPM when it downshifts, and maybe even down 2 gears when you go wide open throttle. So what we're talking about here is better gas mileage. So we're going to want it on the first shifting level, because that will give us the best shift points for normal driving, kind of everything in between, but it's still a little bit better than factory, because when you drive it with a tune on it and then back to factory again for a little bit, you're just kind of like, oh man, I don't know what's going on here. What's wrong with this thing? Number 2, the VCM. So this has been a little bit back and forth on the interweb because we're not entirely sure what does what, right? But I have been able to figure out exactly what it is, and I'll show you here. So this preliminary O2 sensor, turning this off will pretty much also turn off the VCM. I think that there's a couple of other things you need to do, such as having the 91 plus tune, as well as having these two checked. It will turn off the VCM for you, which is why in my last video I had said when you check these two, do not check this one. I also had it on improved shifting level 2. So that's kind of the basic fact, is that if you just run it here, you will actually see your not control move. You will see your short term and long term kind of moving around in an attempt to adjust themselves. So this setup right here is what I would recommend for your commute. This is what I do, at least. So this is what I have set up. The VCM, I will say, is very annoying when it comes down to it. See a lot of the not count come up, and the not control, I should say, not count. Not control should normally be around 0.00 on your best driving. But during commutes and just kind of lightly pedaling it a lot, you will see that you will get 30 plus miles per gallon if you are not stop and go traffic too much, right? So if it's mostly traffic and you're mostly sitting and not doing anything, I can't guarantee that you're going to get any good gas mileage no matter what you drive. But my commute has a little bit of stoplights in the beginning, in the second half, some highway in there, and that's a good hour drive. 40 minutes to an hour drive. And 30 miles to the gallon is achievable. The third one I wanted to talk to you about was the O2 sensor, because these really kind of work together. The last is shifting in S versus D. We all want to be a guy, right, that drives around in S all the time, especially with eco turned off, with the dash not illuminated with the eco. I feel that there's definitely a lot more fuel in the system, and you get a lot more pops and bangs. With an automatic, you get some pops in there. I wanted to let you know that the throttle comp percent is also at 0 when I do this. But when you have the eco on, not so much. Not so much pops and bangs.
Whoa! Did you see that?
The air conditioning kind of goes down a little bit as well. But so driving around in drive is definitely one of the biggest things that you can do to save gas, especially with the eco on. And lastly, I wanted to mention driver input, because again, we all want to be that guy.
That Honda was getting it, Joe. I've never seen smoke come off the front tires of a daily driver Honda in my life. Huh? Thank you, buddy. Hey, we're working on this thing. It's just casting power. You're in the right way. Not yeah. What do you do in racing a federal way? Is it a Honda? Listen, let me give you a second. A federal Honda. Man, I hope so. Chose the book the first time. You'll fix cylinders of it. Fast it through the doors. It is red rain. Right, no pressure. You got this. Come on up.
Traffic always floors it at the next green light just to stop at the next light. Driving like a normal human being.
What is that? Now, I realize you weren't up here for the first round, Dave, but this Honda is a true V6 car without a turbo.
And keeping your RPMs under 3,000 for most of the drive, you will definitely see better miles per gallon over your entire trip. And we have a little miles per gallon on our dash, and this is a very good gauge. We can kind of watch it and get a good average ourselves on that. So those were the keys. I just wanted to drop in and give you a couple of tips here on how to achieve 30 plus miles per gallon on your commute with a tune, with mods, because sometimes it seems unachievable. So that concludes today's tutorial. Thanks so much.